It's okay to start a new chapter. Maybe you're in that boat with me where you just graduated high school and you're wondering what the next step is. Or maybe you got out of a long-term relationship and you feel stuck. And it sucks because this old chapter that you were in, it was great. You loved it. You loved that relationship. You loved being in high school. There were some great memories, and now you're scared of what's next. You feel like you were on top of the mountain and now you are down in the valley. But it's okay. It's okay to start a new chapter because without that new chapter, the book would never be finished. And I think we have to be okay with letting things go. We have to be okay with letting our relationship, letting high school go, because if we can never let it go, we're never going to grow. Recently, I've been in a new chapter. I've been in a pretty new chapter for myself. I used to do lawn care. I used to have a lawn care business. I mean, it's still up and it still has an LLC, but it's not like running or anything like that. But I used to mow grass, did really good on that. I used to be this locked in guru, and now recently I haven't been super locked in. Like, I've been scrolling on my phone. I haven't been eating the cleanest. I'm starting a new business, fitness coaching, and things aren't going my way. With lawn care, I was profitable. In this new business, I am in debt. I have minus money. But that's okay. Because it's new, it's exciting, and there would be no point in doing the same old thing if it wasn't something I was passionate about. And I think we have to be okay with not only starting a new chapter, but we have to realize that your old chapter, it prepared you for your new one. I think a lot of times we feel like we lose discipline. Like right now, I'm like, man, I'm doom scrolling, eating dirty. I'm not getting my lifts in the best. I'm not as locked in. I'm losing progress. But the truth is, I've been in a really hard time. If you've watched my older videos, you would have seen, like, there are some things that are just not going my way in life, and it's hard for me to do things. But I wouldn't be able to be doing as good as I would be right now had I not had done that good in my old chapter. So if you feel like that relationship, that high school, whatever, it's worse now than how it used to be, realize you back then was prepping you for you now, if that makes sense. You have to realize your old trials and tribulations, they make you ready for who you are today. And I think we have to realize that you can't go about life always progressing linear. Like, that wouldn't make the story admirable. There would be no point in watching that. There would be no point in reading that. So understand that maybe you did lose progress. Maybe you were happier back then, but what would the plot be if you were always climbing the mountain? Wouldn't it be so much more interesting if you got to the peak, then you had to come down, you went through a valley, you came back up, went through a forest? Like, things happen in life, and that's okay because that's what life is all about. Like, this brings me to my next point. You can't stay on the mountains forever. You're going to have to come down. And yeah, maybe you were more in shape back then. Maybe you had a better physique. Maybe you really were that guy. Maybe you're that class clown, and recently you've been addicted to things. Maybe you've been stuck in vices like pornography or lust or something that is just weighing you down. But realize stuff happens. And it's okay to not be okay. What's not okay is staying that way. But I think you have to realize you're not always going to be perfect. And if you always expect perfection out of yourself, you're always going to live a life underlived. Not only that, but you're going to live a life sad because it's not up to your standards. And I think we have to realize, like, chapters are necessary for growth. Maybe you feel like you lost progress. Maybe you feel like you went back in this area. But you're not realizing that the story's not finished. You're also not realizing that you've seen your potential. You've seen what you could be. So just because it went away doesn't mean it's gone forever. In fact, that should just motivate you to get it back. And I think one thing, too, that I struggle with is feeling like I am a worse person now because maybe I'm not 13% body fat. Maybe because I'm 19 or 20% body fat, I'm a less cool version of myself. But the truth is, had I not gone to the gym, ate clean, did the cold plunges back in the day, right now I would not be 19% body fat. I wouldn't have that much muscle on me. I'd probably be like obese. I'd probably be more broke and more stuck in life. Because the truth is, to grow in your life, it's kind of weird. You have to bake in hardships. You have to bake in challenges, because when the real life suffering comes, when your dad dies, when you are broke, when your family loses money, you're able to deal with that because you've felt pain in your daily life, causing you to be able to live in that pain and not get overwhelmed by it. A lot of people think that progress is linear. A lot of people think that once they get that career, once they go to college, everything will just be uphill. Everything will just go smooth sailing. That's not true, because progress isn't linear. You need to go through peaks and valleys. You need to go through them because that's what makes the story interesting. I'm sorry, but I don't want to live a life where I put in a little bit of effort and then I get a little result, and then each day I do the same thing a little bit more, and then I look back and I didn't have any challenges. The only challenge I had to overcome was just being a little bit better. That is what you want to be on paper, but if you have nothing hard in your life, if you have nothing going on, what's the point? If success can just be achieved and you don't have to do anything else, it wouldn't even be worth pursuing, because it would be something that you could get once in your life and then stop working forever. But I think that's the beautiful thing about life is success is a moving target. Happiness is a moving target. It's not something that you get one day. It's something that you create each day. And I think that's what a lot of people miss today, is that they're always chasing to be successful without just being successful now. People want to have that business. People want to have that girl. They want to have that physique. They want to have that car. But they're not willing to make their bed every day. Or they're not willing to love themselves. Or they're not willing to love others. If you're not going to be better now, you're not going to be better later. A lot of people don't realize that. And it's unfortunate, because the only way to be better later and to have that business, to have that girl, is being good now. I know I haven't posted in a while, and really I've been battling with some things, and I've posted on that before. But I got discouraged. I think the main thing is that I got discouraged with life. I felt like I wasn't progressing the ways that I want to. And this message is directly for me because progress isn't linear. See, I was looking at life like if I wasn't consistently growing at all times, I was losing. That's not true. Progress isn't linear, and it shouldn't be. Because if it was, everybody ever would always have the mansion. They'd always have the car. And if they didn't, then they just were not wanting. And if they didn't, I can understand why. Because they understood that they could get it one day. They just didn't have to get it now. But I think people who get the car after 20 years of hard work, after 20 years of consistent effort, after their dad died, after their mom went bankrupt, after their child had cancer, like life things that bring them down, after they come back over and over again, and they get that. It's so much more monumental because they didn't just become better 1% each day. They became better even through the hardships, even through the tough times. And I think that's what a lot of people miss. They think once they get on the self-development journey, everything will go smoothly. They will get that car in a month. They will get that physique, and they'll just have to stop working. They can just rest from the fruits of their labor. Yet all they did was reach one milestone or do one thing. Like they did the dishes one time, and all of a sudden they think they deserve the car. Like that's just not how it works. You got to fall in love with the journey. If you're chasing the view, if you're chasing just the peak without realizing that you have to go through the valley, your life won't be interesting. Because every day, instead of focusing on how you can be better for yourself, you're going to be focused on that car. And the truth is, when you finally look at it from a bird's eye view, it's so meaningless. You worked, even if you got it in a month, you worked 30 days consistently, but you weren't focused on loving others. You weren't focused on being better. You were just focused on one thing, a car. Like you didn't grow. You just got some car that will eventually perish. And I know maybe I'm twisting that in a way because I even hear that in my mind. I'm like, it's not exactly what I'm trying to say, but I'm saying it's good to visualize. It's good to practice goals. But if you're not here right now, like you're missing life. If you're not in this moment, you are missing it. If you're always living for the moment of, oh, once I get that car, once I finally can go fast in it, like you're not even going to be right now. You're not even going to be present with those you love. And when you get to that moment, it's just going to be on to the next thing. Like, okay, once I get this truck or once I get this house. And once you get that, it's just going to go on a new thing that's bigger and better. And I think a lot of people do that. And that's why they're depressed. It's not because they don't have that car. It's not because that they don't have that house. It's because they don't have themselves. And when you realize that life isn't about possessions, it's about presence, that's when you start growing. It's never been about what you can achieve financially, materialistically. It's about what you can do for yourself now. Can you love your friends now? Can you love yourself now? You said you wanted that six-pack. Can you just not eat that McDonald's burger today? Like maybe just try today. Don't worry about what will happen tomorrow. Just ask yourself what you want and then live accordingly to that. I know this message may have been all over the place, but that's just what was on my heart, that it's okay to enter a new season. It's okay to change your direction in life. Life isn't always linear. You go through ups and downs, but that's what makes the story interesting. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you. Until the next time, love you all. Peace.